I'm here now with Jean-Baptiste Choimet from Elogen. So thanks for joining us, Jean-Baptiste, today here at the World Hydrogen Congress in Rotterdam. I'm looking forward to our talk, definitely. Before we start going into details, I always wanted to ask you, what was your personal journey, like to the topic of hydrogen in the first place, but also now to your position at Elogen?
Yeah, sure. Thank you for inviting me, and it's a pleasure to be with you today. I would say one word, luck, because I spent most of my career in the LNG business. And 2 years ago, I joined the company called GTT, which is a French company. And a few weeks after I joined it, GTT acquired a French electrolyser manufacturer that became Elogen a few months later. So after a month and a half, I became the managing director of Elogen. So I was very much interested by Elogen before, but hadn't really thought about joining the industry yet. So I'm quite happy that this happened by chance.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you gotta have luck, and I mean, also it's not that far away from a gas business to a gas business.
No, it's true. I mean, there is the same concern about safety. We meet with similar suppliers of equipment, and as well the end users of our electrolyzers are the companies already involved in the oil and gas business.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But I mean, you're still a young company when it comes to the electrolyzer production. And I mean, the European Union, Ursula von der Leyen, laid out very ambitious targets on the technology leaderships of the European Union when it comes to hydrogen technologies. France, the same, Emmanuel Macron also said that France should become technology leader when it comes to hydrogen technologies. How do you see this? Does the EU and France fulfill its promises at the moment?
I do believe that the European Union and the French government in particular are very supportive for companies like us. We are part of the first wave of the IPCEI of hydrogen, Hy2Tech, and this is a tremendous support for our development. Now, if Europe and France truly want to become leaders in terms of hydrogen technologies, what also matters is to ensure that when there is an electrolysis project, for instance, there are European technologies in this project, so as not to repeat maybe the mistake that was done with the photovoltaic industry, where everything went away from Europe. So it doesn't come only to the UN or the European Union or the French government, but it also comes to the end users, the industrial players.
Yeah. So you mentioned the IPCEI projects and funding mechanisms also in France. Do you still see some areas where you would wish to have additional projects that could be funded, new mechanisms also, for example, in cross-border support? Or do you say, I mean, at the moment we are at full capacity running into the right direction?
I think that with this mechanism, we have covered a lot of what we need. This is what is extremely powerful because we are a relatively small company, and today it's a team of 70 people. So we don't necessarily have the same resources as big groups to look for each and every available funding. So having a powerful vehicle like the IPCEI that can gather most of the funding that we require for our R&D or industrialization is extremely helpful, and then it enables us to focus our resources on truly delivering our innovation and our industrialization.
Okay, I see. That's good news, definitely for electrolyzer manufacturing countries like Germany and France. But the second point, because I mean, you say 70 people, strongly growing. Still, what we heard today here, yesterday, during all the conference within this year, looking at the ambitious targets of the European Union, but also countries worldwide. So there's a large gap between the consumption that is predicted and that is needed to fulfill the decarbonization targets on the one side, and the electrolyzer production capacity on the other side. So there's already now almost sure that there will be a lack of production capacity. Did the studies and this approach affect your plans, or is it expanding your business or your production capacity?
I would say that in the very short term, the size of the projects that we are focusing on, which is between 5 and 20 megawatts, there are plenty of prospects that are really coming to stream. So those are really happening, and this provides plenty of workload for us. The several hundreds of megawatt projects, in my view, will take a few years to materialize. And that's good news because the gigafactory that we are developing will come on stream by then. And also, thanks as well to the IPCEI, we've taken an option to probably oversize the factory.
So when do you plan to have this gigafactory online?
So the gigafactory will come online in 2025. And
Already.
until then, so today we have a maximum production capacity of 160 megawatts of stacks in our premises near Paris. And I would say we have various smart and relatively affordable options to increase the capacity in between and bridge until the gigafactory comes to life.
Okay. And do you also start now? Because this is also something that I would be interested in. I mean, you know that the gigafactory will be live in 2025.
Yeah.
Are you already approached by off-takers, by customers that want to secure a certain amount of capacity, even already in 2025?
We are approached by several off-takers. I don't believe they will commit to anything yet. It will take time for them because it's difficult for them to develop a very large project like this one. They need to secure the hydrogen off-takers downstream, and also, and probably it's at least as difficult, is to secure the competitive clean power supply.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I fully agree, but for example, what we discovered also during our due diligence processes and what often delayed the project realization and the bankability at the end was the robust supply chain. So there was a good business case, there was perhaps even an off-taker for the green hydrogen, but sourcing the equipment was not yet sure, and also getting the right qualified personnel. So that's why I was really interested if there's already a lot of interaction with possible off-takers from your side, because that's what they need to do, also, and which is quite a large portion of reaching the FID at the end.
Yes. But also there are the off-takers, but also our suppliers.
Yeah.
Of key components that we can integrate in our systems, and we are very much working with those in order to design with them the best possible components to make the electrolyzers as cheap and as efficient as possible.
So as cheap and efficient as possible. That's perhaps one last buzzword to tap into. We heard a lot of talks about price decrease, like in renewable energies. At the moment, because we see such a large demand in the market, electrolyzer prices rather increase than decrease. So do you see by, for example, in building these gigafactories, you can still largely decrease the production costs of electrolyzers?
I do believe so, because we already see potential today. The more we look at standardizing our products, the more opportunities we have to reduce the costs. And if we move to much larger volumes as well, when we discuss with our future suppliers, we also see that there is quite some room for price reduction. So I do believe that standardization plus mass production can improve a lot the situation. And then we need to keep in mind as well that in the cost of 1 kilogram of green hydrogen, it's still the cost of the power that represents the largest share. So hence our focus on working hard on innovation to offer more efficient electrolyzers to our clients.
Okay. So this is, I think, it's a good positive outlook to finish the interview. So thank you very much for joining us and sharing the insights of Elogen on the topic of hydrogen and electrolyzer production.
You're very welcome. It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.